It's a cat in space, celebrating you all over the place. Space cat, he's meowing in space. You'll have to surgically remove that smummery face from Space Cat.
You know, this song has not gotten old for me. And most importantly, this song, I believe, is royalty free. So as far as I'm concerned, it's either this song or the drum song that I get as an intro and an outro until I get better music. It is what it is. Hello, peeps. Welcome to the Tuesday edition of Monday. I didn't drink on Sunday, and I drank water. There's a Reddit group called Hydro Homies, which I really recommend for this time of quarantine madness. All it is people reminding each other to drink water. Highly recommend. But I didn't drink on Sunday because I was trying to treat myself like a temple. And I didn't drink yesterday, but wait, I did actually. Well, I only drank cocktails. So today is a more sophisticated version of yesterday. So I'm gonna have 2 glasses of wine. So yay. Cheers to me. Let's see. What am I drinking? Double Black Zinfandel from Paso Robles. Okay, I know nothing about wine, so this tastes like wine. Fantastic. Okay, so I'm gonna put this right here. Symmetry. Today, United States crossed 1 million threshold in confirmed coronavirus cases. We really suck right now. More people have died from coronavirus than Vietnam. Mike Pence went to Mayo Clinic, the premier medical research facility in America. He refused to wear a mask despite being told. He says because he wants to look at people with his eyes. Cool. His eyes are up here. Mask stops here. Anyway, so this is just dumb. I'm guessing he just really wants to mouth breathe on people, which is really not cool. It wasn't cool before, and now it's really not cool. So, fuck him. Is Kim Jong-il still dead or still alive? I guess we won't know until an atomic bomb hits San Francisco. So, although, does Kim Jong-il really hate San Francisco? Wouldn't he? I don't know, man. I feel like North Korea and California, do we really have beef? It's not like they're super religious and we're heathens. That makes sense. But anyway, let's see. I worked today, and at work I responded to email real fast just to, assert dominance. I don't think it's super effective, but it makes me feel super effective. So cool. Let's see what else is happening. I tried making sourdough today. Those of you who tune in a lot know that I have now, since quarantine started, there has been 2 exercises involving sourdough. First time I wanted to do it, and my sister says you actually hate sourdough bread, which is really true. I don't love sourdough. And she's like, I love baking, I will do it for you. I'm like, fine. When you're making my sourdough starter, call it Ruth Baker Ginsburg. I thought it was really hilarious. Well, since then, she has accidentally spilled her starter and it just went everywhere. So Ruth Baker Ginsburg is no more. I just wanted to get in on the sourdough fun. So when my stepdaughter Violet said she needs to do a science project or science related project for her homeschool experience, I suggested that she do a sourdough starter, because I thought this shit is easy. So she was like, oh, okay, because she's a good kid. And we did like a sourdough starter as a science project for 2 weeks with varied success. So now that the science fair is over, I'm just keeping, and she named her sourdough starter Sir Dovid of sour bread. Very like regal. Anyway, the science project is over. She'd set up her tables and stuff like that. Now it's just my sourdough starter because her mom was like, no thanks. Wise. So I have the sourdough starter now, Sir Dovid, Ruth Baker Ginsburg. So I called my mom this weekend. My mom, she's from the northern region of China, and all they do is bake stuff with flour. Not bake, but steam. So I told her, I'm like, Mom, listen, I'm making a sourdough bread. And, I'm like, I'm making a starter from flour. And her first response was, wouldn't that come out sour? And I'm like, yeah, that's the whole point. And she basically said like, oh, you want that? I'm like, yes, it's an artisanal thing. And she basically said, I guess if you say so. Oh, that's weird. And then she proceeded to give me like a lot of tips because she's apparently grown a lot of starters in her life because apparently commercial yeast wasn't available in China. So basically, according to her, oh, this boa just like fell off. The hell? According to her, like a sourdough is basically a really like limp piece of flour and water, and you can't really expect it to act in a way that commercial yeast acts. And I guess I knew this rationally, but the way she talked about it, it sounded like the sourdough starter, to start a sourdough starter, is kind of like raising a kid. You don't know what your kid is capable of, just like you don't know what your sourdough starter is really capable of. And you still have to feed it every day, and you have to keep it alive. You can't expect it to be as successful as the commercial starters or commercial yeast. They're just wild yeast. And the first time you thrust your sourdough starter into action, you kind of had to temper your expectation a lot. And in fact, expect failure. And even after it fails, you still have to feed it to keep it going. And you just do this continuous, and then you have to like do all the things right, but expect nothing from your sourdough starter, except to be sour. And if that's not really your jam, well, sorry. And then you have to be very patient, and you just have to plan your entire life around it. So yeah, once she set my expectation about sourdough that way, I will say today was a much easier, emotional experience in dealing with my sourdough. Because up until I had the conversation with my mom, I had very high expectations of my sourdough starter, and I really tied my self-esteem and aspirations to the sourdough starter. And she basically, provided me the epiphany of, no, don't attach your self-worth to your sourdough starter, because you're just setting yourself up for failure. Just treat it like an extracurricular activity that you don't care about. That's the right level of attachment you should have. So cheers to Mom. You're absolutely right. My sourdough bread came out today. It tasted like sourdough bread. It had the crunchy exterior of sourdough bread. It has the holes inside the bread, but it was only like this tall, and it didn't look artisanal at all. It just looked somewhat like a loaf of bread. So anyway, that's my sourdough experience, and I will still be feeding my sourdough starter tonight. I also made pork chops tonight. It was a disaster. And this disaster could have been averted if only I had like Googled for a recipe or a how-to. And truth be told, I actually did Google a recipe and a how-to, uh, but I read through neither one of those because it involved more than like 3 thumb scrolls. So this meme is highly applicable to me. By the way, I did take a BuzzFeed quiz called "What kind of potato are you?" I took the quiz twice. Both times I got I'm a scallop potato because I am bougie on a budget. Guilty. I look fancy on the outside, but you're just a regular potato underneath it all. It's it's on point. That's exactly who I am. But yeah, I don't have any significant Seth and Melissa update for you guys tonight. For those of you who don't know, Seth and Melissa is my best friend from high school, and Seth is her husband. They're moving to out of New York City to avoid being killed by coronavirus, and they're moving to New Jersey. But they are also because I'm inspired by their plight. I also named a pair of Stellar J that has taken up roosting in my, is that the word, roosting, like building a nest? I don't know, probably should Google it, but I will probably stop in midway and take a BuzzFeed quiz instead. But anyways, Seth and Melissa are the name of the birds, are the names I've given the birds who's decided to roost in my backyard. I found their nest. I went to took a picture today. It looks the same to me. This is what it looks like. Violet insists that there's progress in that nest, but I think she's seeing what she wants to see. The other thing is, because they're so territorial since they moved into my yard, I haven't seen a lot of other birds in my yard other than 2 woodpeckers on the other side of the house. There used to be another bird that comes to hang out in my house, and it's like this fat little, like, it looks like a miniature bowling ball. I think it's a robin because it's so fat. And like the reason why I noticed the bird in my backyard was because we have like a champagne bowl in my backyard from a party that I didn't clean up, and the champagne bowl is like super reflective. And robin, the fat robin was just like charging the bowl trying to like fight its own reflection, and he looked like an extra from Sopranos, like Fat Tony, you know. So I call him Robin Fats. So ever since Seth and Melissa the bird came into my yard, I haven't seen Robin Fats until today. This evening at dawn, when we were hanging out in the backyard, we heard Robin Fats just like tiptoeing around the vicinity, like the perimeter of the yard, like just trying to see if he or she can like get back to where it used to be. So I don't know. There's like a bird gang fight in my backyard. I'll keep you guys posted. So that's our show tonight. I'm gonna wrap up because it's 10:30. I still have 2 glasses of wine to drink. Like I said, I might have mentioned this. Tudor and I, we're watching Scrubs. I don't know if anyone has ever seen or even remembers Scrubs. This was a show that was really popular in the early aughts. It's still extremely popular with me. So we're basically, Tudor has never seen it, so I'm making him watch that entire show during quarantine. It's made us laugh, it's made us cry, it's got everything. I don't know why people are so crazy about Friends when Scrubs is like 100 times better. So anyway, I'm gonna go now, finish my wines. Good luck, good night. Don't catch coronavirus. And Trump doesn't care about you. Good night.